Hi, I'm Cynthia Chang Correa of the Wellspring Collaborative. And today I'm really delighted to bring to you our guest, Babette Bensoussan, who is a globally recognized coach and strategic advisor, an expert who supports individuals and businesses to shift their thinking, strengthen their leadership, and just to navigate complexities, personal and on the macro, with clarity and confidence. And one of the reasons why I want to bring Babette to you and to this audience today is because she's one of the, I think, most powerful and effective people I've worked with to help people break through their limitations. She has vast amounts of experience in a number of different things. In fact, if you go to her website, you'll see all of her credentials and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So we'll give you that link at the end. But she is an expert in helping people break through in their limitations and their barriers. And in particular, harnessing energy leadership, which we'll get into with Babette. I've known Babette from our work in the business and management field, sort of our other lives, if you will, other than this audience. And as I expanded my professional interests into health and well-being after personally practicing it for a couple of decades, Babette and I began to have conversations of a different nature. And we discovered how much her coaching and my coaching complement one another. And mine, of course, being in health and wellness, and how powerful the work that she does in energy leadership can benefit us as we work through the various health and wellness foundations, according to the Wellspring model, and how this energy leadership offers these very powerful tools to support our inner well-being, understanding our many root causes and factors that limit us in our practices, also in helping us form and achieve our goals, and specifically even targeting the pillars of the health and wellness foundations that we want to work on. So, with this context, I want to welcome Babette and to thank Babette for helping us kick off this channel.
Thank you. Thank you. It really is a privilege and an honor to be with you. You're an amazing woman. And I just really am, excuse me, honored to be working with you. So,
Oh,
anyway,
simpatico.
mutual, mutual admiration society here.
Yeah. But I think that that speaks to what I had just mentioned, that we known each other in our other lives, right? Working on business and management problems. And as we got to know each other personally, we realized that we both have this interest in supporting well-being. And you got there before I did because you were already multi-certified and credentialed and as a coach and in various therapies and so forth. And but it's been such a pleasure to be able to speak with you about this and to explore this further with you. And I feel that it's so important to be able to bring you to this audience to be able to showcase more of energy leadership and the power of what energy leadership can do to be able to support our well-being. And so, with that, I would like to just start by asking if you can tell us more about your coaching work and the types of coaching you provide and how they complement each other, because I think that's a good starting point for
Well,
context.
I think that I'm going to address one thing first. You've mentioned a couple of times energy leadership. And, and so that the viewers can understand. So, energy leadership, it's a process that was developed by a psychologist, Bruce Schneider, in New York. And what it says is that there are we all have 7 levels of energy, which are driven by our thinking. And our thinking, as we all know, when you go to physics, whatever you feel or attract, that is what you will attract. That's in fact Einstein's theory. Um, but so what he said is that whatever our thinking is, he's a psychologist, whatever we think about ourselves, that is what we will attract to ourselves. So, as a coach, I work predominantly with people's thinking around how they make decisions. because your thinking impacts your decisions. So I use very much the Energy Leadership Index, which is an online tool, and to help me uncover where my clients go when they're stressed, when they're angry or in a negative place, or where they really are when they're relaxed. What is their
Mm.
kind of thinking? So by uncovering people's thinking, I can help them uncover how they're getting in the way of making good decisions.
And might I also add that being aware of this form of thinking and having the tools to support that, it also helps you learn to become more relaxed, right? To be able
Well,
to be able to come
correct.
down from a chronic stress state, for example, which is one of the reasons why I feel that this is such an important tool for our space, because we're working with people who oftentimes have root causes or factors that are stress related. And if we can't effectively get at those factors, and to be able to help us shift our mindsets about this, then that becomes a barrier, right, to
And
our goals.
the interesting thing is that a lot of people feel and believe that they can address their blind spots, their biases, their assumptions, limiting beliefs, interpretations. I can tell you straight away, the mirror will only reflect what you know. So the
Well,
mirror does not challenge your thinking. It
no,
doesn't say, where did that thought come from? The
no.
mirror will
And
just reflect.
yeah, and the leading thinkers in biases acknowledge this, right? The pioneers in this, and leading researchers recognize that we are our own worst coaches in that sense, right? To be able to identify
Absolutely.
these flaws. And so it is very helpful to work on this with other people, whether or not it's a coach or maybe a trusted, knowledgeable friend or community or so on and so forth, where we can have some of these things reflected back in questions and helping us to explore this. And so I would like to, before we get even deeper, because I know with you, we can always just dive right in, but for our audience too, could you share with us a little bit more about your coaching work and that you are, so I'll just reframe this a little bit. You are a globally respected author, thought leader, pioneer in strategic competitive intelligence. You have had a fantastic career. You could be sitting on a beach basking in your achievements. How did you
Ah,
arrive at
phooey.
coach? I'm sorry?
I said, ah, phooey.
Right, exactly.
I have
But
a
how did
beach
you
7
arrive?
minutes from here.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, the beach is convenient to you, but which is even more enticing. But why have you shifted to coaching? Why have you arrived at coaching? How does your story lead you here, and the types of coaching that you offer people to this day? Because I'd like to understand that context before we dive in, because before I met you, I hadn't really heard of energy leadership. And so why did that resonate with you? Why did you go into this area? Why?
Okay. So you're asking some fabulous questions. So I've always been fascinated by psychology and people and their behaviors. And when I did a bit of psychotherapy for myself, and I realized that there were thoughts that I had that were holding me back. Also, as a consultant, I realized a lot of executives make decisions based on their biases, on their blind spots. And see, when you work in strategy and competitive intelligence, the key issue is the human mind. It's the way people think that creates good strategies or dumb strategies. It's, whether you see things coming or you don't. It's your blind spots, your
Yeah.
biases. So I decided to maybe work as a counselor. So I did a postgrad degree in counseling. So that's like in America, it's like a therapist. And I decided I'd work with women. And then I thought, no, I don't want to work with women. And then I thought, why am I throwing away 25 years of business experience to work in social services. So I thought, no. And then I came to a crisis, and a friend of mine suggested I become a coach because that way I could leverage my business experience with individuals. And I thought, what a great idea. So I then strategically, at the time, looked for two key factors when I wanted my coaching certification. The first one was that whatever course I did, I had to be immediately accredited with the International Coaching Federation, because that would allow me to enter the corporate arena as a coach.
Yes.
Secondly, I'd learned from competition. I needed a tool that would differentiate me from all competitors. Because otherwise, if we've all got Hogan or we've all got DISC, we've all got MBTI, how do you differentiate?
Mm-hmm.
And at the time when I started, which was 2010, 2011, to do my coaching, there were only 6 organizations globally that provided and addressed these two criterias.
Interesting. Yeah.
And the one that I liked was the Energy Leadership Index, because I was firmly of the belief, whatever you think, that is your reality.
Yeah.
Change your thinking, you change your reality.
Right. And as simple as that sounds, just through our conversations, I understand how complex it is, right? Because we are dealing with the unseen within us. So for
Oh,
folks who use our health and wellness foundations or the Wellsprings Health and Wellness Foundations model, it is that inner self and growth pillar that is at the foundation, the base of the model. And I'll have a link to that model in the description so people will be able to see what we're talking about and have an explanation of that, which we
I
don't have
think,
time for. But
one of the most important thing about wellness
mm,
is that some people deep down may have a bias against taking medicines, against being healthy. Where did that come from? You know, where this is where, if you want to be a healthy person, so some people believe they have to exercise non-stop. But I look at some of the top, the Pritikin diet, the other great, people who were into health and wellness, who dropped dead of heart attacks at 56,
yeah.
um, and in their 40s. I mean, or, healthy people who don't wake up.
We
They,
also see too that there are people who we've actually begun to see more, I think, in the past decade, that there are people who are focused so much on clean foods or getting their health protocols correct that they've actually lost sight of what is right for them. And I think that's also particularly important. And with
and that's thinking.
yes, and that also speaks to whatever is going on internally, perfectionism, right? Judgment, self-judgment, a whole host of
Correct.
things, right? Those various layers that are there that are somehow surfacing and it's manifesting in the way that we approach health and wellness. So it can run the spectrum, right? It could be that there are people who neglect their health and well-being because of these
Absolutely.
barriers. And then there are people who are so focused on their health and well-being that they're overly focused and to the point where it
They're
creates
obsessive.
anxiety. It creates
Yeah.
anxiety for them. And there's a technical term for it. Yeah, I don't want to go into that. Um, but but wherever you are on either end of the spectrum, there are layers, and this is where I think that the Energy Leadership Index is very, very helpful. And
So let me.
it's a wonderful tool to be able to help people explore these things because there's a framework of questions, right?
Correct.